A metallic mask conceals his face, a green cloak drapes over his imposing armor, and his very name strikes fear into the hearts of the Marvel Universe. Dr. Victor Von Doom, scientist, sorcerer, ruler, and conqueror, he is more than just a villain. He is a force of nature, a being whose intellect rivals the gods, and whose ambition knows no limits. Some call him a tyrant, others a genius, but all fear the wrath of Doom. Across time and space, kings and emperors have risen and fallen, but Doom remains. His presence alone commands reverence. When he speaks, the world listens. When he acts, history bends to his will. But to understand the legend of Dr. Doom, one must first step into the past, into the shadows of Latveria, where a boy's pain gave birth to a man's destiny. The story of Victor Von Doom begins in the war-torn land of Latveria, a small European nation plagued by oppression and suffering. The ruling aristocracy, cruel and corrupt, treated its people like cattle, and among the most persecuted were the Romani, the wandering people who lived in the forests and valleys. It was among them that Victor was born, the son of a healer and a sorceress. His mother, Cynthia Von Doom, was no ordinary woman. She was a practitioner of dark magic, a woman whose power rivaled even the greatest mystics of her time. Yet, she was not content with her abilities. She desired more. In a fateful act of desperation, she made a pact with the demon Mephisto, seeking greater strength to protect her people from the tyranny of Latveria's rulers. But bargains with demons rarely end well. Instead of salvation, her power brought devastation. The spell she unleashed slaughtered innocent Latverians, and when the Baron's men arrived, they executed her as a witch. Victor was just a boy when he watched his mother perish, her soul dragged into the depths of hell. His father, Werner von Doom, was a kind and gentle man, a physician who tended to the sick without regard for wealth or status. When the Baron's wife fell ill, Werner was summoned to heal her. Despite his best efforts, she died in his care. Enraged, the Baron sent his soldiers to hunt him down. Werner took his son and fled into the mountains, braving the brutal cold in a desperate attempt to save them both. But the elements were unkind. Werner succumbed to the cold, his frozen body shielding his son from the unforgiving winter. Victor, barely alive, awoke to the sight of his dead father, a man who had done nothing but good, struck down by fate's cruelty. That day, Victor swore two things. He would never be weak again, and he would avenge his parents' suffering. Victor returned to his Romani tribe, but he was no longer a helpless boy. Grief had hardened him. Rage had sharpened his mind. He discovered his mother's hidden tomes, ancient texts of sorcery and forbidden knowledge, and he devoured them with an insatiable hunger. He became obsessed with the dark arts, vowing to one day reclaim his mother's soul from Mephisto's grasp. But sorcery was only one half of his genius. Doom was a mind beyond measure, a scientific prodigy unlike any the world had ever seen. While other children played, Victor built machines, devices that could predict weather patterns, gadgets that could manipulate energy. He crafted weapons for his people, devices that allowed them to strike back against their oppressors. Word of his brilliance spread. Scientists marveled at his inventions. Scholars were baffled by his intellect. And soon an offer came, one that would change his fate forever. An invitation to Empire State University. Empire State University was a world unlike anything Doom had ever known. Towering buildings, state-of-the-art laboratories, and the greatest minds of a generation all gathered in one place. Among them was a young scientist who would become his greatest rival, Reed Richards. Richards was brilliant, perhaps the only person in the world who could rival Victor's intelligence. But where Reed was humble and curious, Doom was arrogant and unyielding. He saw others as beneath him, and Reed was no exception. Their rivalry was immediate and bitter. Yet, Doom was not concerned with petty academic squabbles. His mind was set on one thing: saving his mother's soul. Using the university's resources, He began working on a machine designed to bridge the gap between the mortal world and the afterlife. A device capable of pulling Cynthia Von Doom from Mephisto's domain and into the world of the living. It was his greatest creation, and he was certain it would work. But Reed saw the flaw. "You miscalculated," Reed warned. "Your equations. There's a variable you didn't account for." Doom scoffed. "You dare question me? You think yourself my equal?" Reed tried to convince him, but Doom was deaf to doubt. He activated the machine, and it exploded in his face. The blast disfigured him, scarring him for life. But the damage to his body was nothing compared to the damage to his pride. Doom refused to admit his mistake. He blamed Reed, accused him of sabotaging the experiment. His rage burned hotter than ever. He was expelled from the university in disgrace, forced to abandon his work, humiliated and broken. But Doom does not break. Doom rises, and from the ashes of his failure, a legend was born. With nothing left in America, Victor wandered the world, seeking knowledge. His journey led him to the mountains of Tibet, where he encountered a hidden order of monks, masters of ancient wisdom. They recognized his potential, saw the fire within him, and took him in. Here, Doom honed his mind, body, and soul. He mastered sorcery, unlocking secrets that even the most powerful mystics had forgotten. He crafted his armor, a suit of near-indestructible metal, imbued with both science and magic. And when he emerged, he was no longer Victor Von Doom. He was Dr. Doom. His first act was to return to Latveria. With his newfound power, he led a revolution against the tyrants who had oppressed his people. He took the throne, not as a king, but as an absolute ruler. And under his reign, Latveria flourished. Poverty was erased. Crime vanished. Technology soared beyond anything the world had seen. His people lived in peace, but it was a peace built on fear. No one dared oppose Doom. With Latveria as a stronghold, Doom set his sights beyond its borders. The world would kneel, or it would suffer. Doom's ambitions were never limited to the borders of Latveria. His mind was always reaching outward, to a universe full of potential, a universe he could control. And it was not long before his path crossed with the Fantastic Four, a team of heroes as diverse and powerful as the elements themselves. The Four had always been a thorn in Doom's side. Reed Richards, his old rival, was now the leader of the group, but Doom's disdain for the others was just as fierce. The Human Torch, with his cocky attitude and flashy powers, was beneath Doom's notice. Invisible Woman, with her ability to manipulate force fields, was a powerful foe, but one Doom saw as a mere obstacle. And the Thing, the monstrous, rocky powerhouse, presented a challenge, but nothing Doom's intellect and sorcery couldn't handle. But it was Reed Richards who truly intrigued him. Doom had always been the superior intellect, and that superiority gnawed at him. Richards' success was built on humility, a concept Doom could never understand. Reed's ability to unite the team and lead them toward noble ends was, in Doom's eyes, a weakness. Their first confrontation was inevitable. Doom attacked the Fantastic Four's headquarters, a fortress of steel and technology, launching a calculated assault to prove his dominance. His armor crackled with energy as he effortlessly cut through their defenses, and the battle raged across the city. The Thing threw punches that could level buildings, but Doom danced around them, using his magic to parry and counter with devastating force. Finally, Doom faced off with Richards, the culmination of his years of hatred and rivalry. "Richards," Doom bellowed, his voice echoing through the destroyed city streets. "Your time has passed. I, Dr. Doom, shall rule over all. No more will your pitiful inventions hold any power." Reed, ever the strategist, responded with measured calm. "You never learn, Doom. You think brute strength and sorcery will win the day. But the heart of what we do, it's not about power. It's about hope." Doom's laughter rang out, cold and unforgiving. "Hope is a lie. Power is truth. And I will crush you beneath my heel." The two clashed, the ground quaking beneath their cosmic-level battle. But Doom, despite his might, could never fully defeat the Fantastic Four. They were united in a way he could never be, rich in bonds that Doom had discarded in pursuit of ultimate power. However, even in defeat, Doom emerged victorious in his own way. He had struck fear into the Fantastic Four's hearts, forcing them to question their own limits. And though their unity had held strong, Doom's presence lingered in their minds like a dark shadow, always waiting, watching. Doom was never content with simply ruling Latveria. His eyes were on a much greater prize, the ultimate weapon that could grant him not just dominion over Earth, but over the very fabric of existence itself. Through his study of the ancient texts, Doom discovered the existence of the Doomstones, mysterious, cosmic artifacts, each imbued with an elemental force of nature. Together, these stones could channel the power of the universe itself, giving Doom the ability to rewrite reality, bend the laws of physics, and shape history to his will. These Doomstones were scattered across the universe, each one hidden in a location of profound significance, guarded by gods and cosmic entities alike. The quest to gather them would require both sorcery and technology, and Doom, ever the perfectionist, set about making the necessary arrangements. But the Fantastic Four were not his only adversaries. As Doom's plans unfurled, he found himself confronted by the Avengers, who had begun to suspect his intentions. They were formidable, their ranks bolstered by powerful heroes like Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Hawkeye. But Doom knew that they were scattered and weakened by their own internal struggles. At first, Doom allowed the Avengers to believe that they had the upper hand. He led them on a series of wild chases, testing their limits. But in the shadows, he was always one step ahead. His secret army of Latverian soldiers, bolstered by his scientific advancements and magic, thwarted every attempt the Avengers made to stop him. Then came the day he made his move. With the Doomstones in his possession, Doom prepared to merge science and sorcery, creating a device capable of harnessing their full power. A weapon of unprecedented scale. The Avengers, realizing the true extent of his ambitions, launched a full-scale assault on Latveria. They fought through his mechanized army, but Doom's machine was already online. This world, this universe, will bow to me. Doom's voice boomed over the battlefield, his figure standing tall against the swirling maelstrom of energy crackling around him. Thor wielded his enchanted hammer, Mjolnir, his strikes resonating with divine fury. But even Thor's power was insufficient against the cosmic force Doom was channeling. Iron Man's suit, designed to withstand the greatest threats, faltered before the dark magic. And then, just as victory seemed within Doom's grasp, the one thing he had overlooked struck. Reed Richards. Richards had spent years studying Doom, learning from every failure and every success. With the help of the Avengers, he pinpointed the flaw in Doom's machine, a critical energy imbalance that could overload the system. In a desperate gambit, Reed managed to sabotage the device, cutting off the Doomstone's power and stopping Doom's plan before it could come to fruition. But Doom was never one to be outwitted for long. Humiliated by his failure, he retreated to the hidden realms of the cosmos, seeking even greater power. It was here, in the farthest reaches of space, that he encountered beings far more ancient than any earthly adversary. The Celestials, cosmic entities whose power surpassed even that of gods. Doom, ever the opportunist, saw in them a new path to domination. He struck a dark bargain with these cosmic beings, offering his intellect and servitude in exchange for the power to control their vast energies. But in true Dr. Doom fashion, he betrayed them, taking their power for himself. He now wielded the cosmic might of the Celestials, an unholy fusion of sorcery, science, and cosmic terror that allowed him to reshape the very fabric of space-time. As Doom returned to Earth, he found himself standing at the precipice of ultimate power. No longer just a ruler of Latveria, but a god among mortals. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and every hero on Earth could do nothing but watch in awe and terror as Dr. Doom finally realized his grand vision of power. Yet, even in his cosmic godhood, Doom was not satisfied. His desires continued to grow, greater, darker, and more absolute. For in the end, power, no matter how immense, is never enough. Doom's journey is far from over, and the question remains: will anyone be able to stop him? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enticing content.